Good morning, colleagues. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. The annual State of the County Address is a time where we look back at the accomplishments and progress that the county has achieved over the past year. It also lends insight into where we are headed as today the Commission chooses a new mayor and vice mayor. My term as mayor was interesting. As Charles Dickens said, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. As mayor, I was the face of Broward during the worst pandemic in our lifetimes, and I took this responsibility seriously. My main focus was protecting the life and health of Broward citizens, while balancing this with protecting our economy. I consistently personally consulted with national and local health experts and held many news conferences to provide accurate information in a calm and timely fashion. I am thrilled to have served with outstanding members of this commission during these difficult times as we work together to protect Broward. There's no question that 2020 and 2021 were a challenge for county and city governments, businesses, medical and healthcare organizations, and most importantly, the almost 2 million residents that we serve. 2021 was a tumultuous year, with COVID-19 spiking in Broward County to an all-time high last August, when Broward County, unfortunately, had the highest hospitalization rate of any county in the country. Broward had more people hospitalized than Harris County, Texas, with their population of 4.7 million, or Los Angeles County with 8 million, the number 2 and 4 counties in the country with the highest hospitalization rates, after Broward and number 3 Miami-Dade. Over the course of the year, COVID testing slowed, and we turned our attention to COVID vaccinations. Our county parks operations changed from swabs to needles as we launched multi-million-dollar promotional campaigns in partnership with the Florida Department of Health to encourage people to get vaccinated and to wear a mask in order to stop or at least slow the spread of the virus. I must comment on the county's dealings with our state government. When I proposed the plan for reopening, which this commission adopted, I did this after having spoken and written to the CDC, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Johns Hopkins, the local hospital districts, the chief epidemiologist of the state of Florida, which honestly was a position I hadn't even known existed, and others. Then Governor DeSantis came along and superseded all of our authority with the stroke of his pen. I respect the office of the governor and whoever sits in that office at any time. However, I find it ironic that the state tells the federal government not to pass laws, national laws, because what works in New York doesn't work in North Dakota. When we went to the governor and legislature and asked for local authority to protect ourselves, because what works in Bradford County, with its population of 28,000, doesn't work in Broward County with nearly 2 million residents, we were ignored. I beg the legislature and governor to preempt local government less than they are. As a county, we came together with our 31 cities, and I held mayor's calls on a regular basis to discuss countywide strategies to protect our population. And as the mayor of Broward County, I'm proud that all of that round-the-clock work made a big difference. Let me give a quick shout out to Mark Bogan, who I believe is the commissioner that initiated the mayor's goals. We prevailed by learning new ways to do things. We learned new ways to communicate that brought us new words, such as Zoom or Skype. Though it was safer for us to separate from one another, it also brought us closer together and brought out the strength of our leadership skills as we worked to protect our residents, families, and visitors. I'm still concerned with Broward's future with COVID. Although national COVID rates had been declining, they appear to have plateaued. National vaccination rates had been creeping up, especially with mandatory vaccination orders in other states and from the federal government. However, it seems that most adults that haven't been vaccinated yet are steadfast in their unwillingness to get vaccinated, and we are seeing declining effectiveness of the vaccines as they appear to weaken over time unless one receives a booster shot. I remind everyone that Florida counts its numbers differently from most or all other states. I use a method, one that Johns Hopkins and other medical schools use, that's more difficult to manipulate, which is new cases per 100,000 of population. You've all heard me refer to that repeatedly. Under 2.5 is good, 2.5 to 5 is yellow, 5 to 10 is orange, and over 10 is red, meaning out of control. In June, we were at 5.1. We went up to 144 in August. I've reviewed the numbers recently, and most days we seem to be around 8. This morning we were at 8.1. Better than we were, but still in a cautionary stage. And with everyone gathering together and no longer wearing masks, I fear a future outbreak, especially among the unvaccinated. I know that I'm repeating myself, but I urge everyone to follow the advice of the medical and scientific experts, not someone that gives you advice on the internet. Vaccines and boosters work. Masks add extra protection, and good hygiene just makes good sense. In the middle of the COVID pandemic, I thought that Broward needed some good news, and I created the Broward County Medal of Valor to highlight the decency and caring of Broward County's people. The Medal of Valor is given to those Broward County residents that have risked their own lives and safety trying to save the lives of other people. It is fitting that we honor these people, and I'm glad that the news media has given these presentations the coverage that they deserve. I hope that our new mayor will continue this award. County operations remained working despite the challenges that COVID brought. When I was elected as a commissioner, and when you honored me by selecting me as mayor last year, job creation was my #1 priority and at the very top of our list of accomplishments. I'm very pleased with the creation of a film commission. I met throughout the year with major players in the industry to obtain ideas and insight. These include Emilio Estefan and his daughter Emily, actor John Huertas and his wife, who operate a well-organized entertainment marketing firm. We organized a film summit with over 40 attendees. Florida was once the third largest film producing state, prior to the legislature doing away with film incentives. That's why I felt the creation of a film commission was necessary. The Film Commission will bring filming incentives, jobs, revenue, and bring new promotional and branding opportunities to Broward County. We should be announcing the hiring of a new film commissioner within the next week. Broward County's unemployment rate has been dropping. Fortunately, people are getting back to work, and our unemployment is lowering as the economy kicks back into gear. Technological advancements will have changed the way we do things now, and I believe that will escalate in the future. The opening of the Alan B. Levan NSU Center of Innovation will serve as a tech hub for Broward County and South Florida. I think you'll be hearing a lot more on Tub and crypto from the incoming mayor. I felt that the $6.75 million in matching funds that I helped through the budget process will go a long way in helping start up technology companies and innovation collaboratives. In order to create jobs, you must have a skilled workforce, which is why I authored the Broward County Construction Apprenticeship Program. That ordinance requires that 12% of labor hours in large construction projects funded by county dollars be performed by apprentices. This program will give people the skills they need to create a positive, stable future. Apprentices who are taught valuable trade skills, such as construction, electrical, or plumbing services, can earn a high-paying job. Many construction companies are having a difficult time filling these types of positions due to a shortage of qualified candidates. This program is a benefit to all, and I'm proud we were able to pass it this year. I am a strong and unabashed believer in organized labor. I believe that income inequality has increased as private sector union memberships declines. Along these lines, I also created the Mayor's Labor Council and continued with the labor working group that I created 4 years ago. The working group brings together representatives from unions, contractors and subcontractors, vocational and technical schools, the marine industry, the Alliance, public school counselors, and many other groups to promote futures in the skilled trades. I believe that everyone needs post-high school training, but not everyone needs a 4-year college degree to earn a good middle-class living. Commissioners had previously asked about attending the working group meetings, but we haven't been able to do that because of sunshine concerns. The next meeting has been sunshined and will be held at 9 a.m. this Thursday, November 18th at the Levan Center. All commissioners are invited to attend. The fiscal year 2022 budget was $6.7 billion, with funding earmarked for affordable housing, the continuation of all county services, human rights, and the environment. Land use is a vital responsibility of this commission, and an ordinance that I finally passed this year will hopefully encourage developers to build residential projects on land that currently has commerce or commercial land use designation. This should lead us to more transit-oriented housing units along corridors easily accessible to transportation, and allow us to use the scarcity of land that we have in an efficient manner to house our growing population. I push this idea forward because in the long term, I believe the most important solution to affordable housing is creating more housing. Our economic engines, Port Everglades, the Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood Airport, and tourism, took a hit during the pandemic, but their rebound is beyond expectations. I would like to thank Mark Gale, our aviation director, Jonathan Daniels at the Seaport, and Stacy Ritter at the CVB for doing great jobs under difficult circumstances. Cargo operations at Port Everglades are back to the same level of business as usual, importing and exporting the same amount of goods prior to the pandemic. In fact, July was a record month for cargo volumes at the port. We also installed big cranes for big gains at Port Everglades to move more cargo and improve operations. While the cruise industry took a big hit by shutting down during COVID, cruises are making a great comeback, again returning to sailing. These include new ships and new cruise lines bringing their business to Port Everglades. One of the biggest announcements of the year, Port Everglades completed the agreement with Disney Cruise Lines to begin operating at Port Everglades in fall of 2023. The agreement is for 15 years with a minimum guarantee of 10.6 million guests with 3 5-year options. This is quite an accomplishment and an acknowledgement of how desirable Port Everglades is for all 3 legs of our diversified port: cruise, cargo, and energy. I still believe that the cruise industry should have the right to require proof of vaccination on their ships if they choose to do so, and sent a letter signed by me and the 2 other mayors with jurisdiction over Port Everglades to Governor Ron DeSantis, asking him to permit the private sector to make these private decisions. At the Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport, passenger traffic continued to improve over the second quarter of 2020, when travel fell to an historic low following COVID. Currently, FLL is one of the fastest recovering airports in the United States, with passenger traffic already approaching 2019 levels. We should be most proud of the progress that has been made here in partnership with our airlines and all employees working at the airport through such trying times. Yes, that is Vice Mayor Udine's picture. Broward County tourism quickly recovered from COVID, In fact, Visit Lauderdale reports that leisure visitors were king this summer, with record-breaking rates. May's occupancy of 78% was the highest May occupancy on record. Tourist development tax collections are currently up 35% from last year. Year to date, roughly $67 million has been collected. That is 7% higher than the same time in 2019, the last year pre-COVID. Broward County never shut down necessary operations during COVID. We continue to serve the public with bus service and open transportation terminals. We also offered free fare transit service during most of the pandemic. This past year, 12 Proterra electric buses were delivered, 4 new articulated New Flyer 60-foot buses were added to the fleet as well, and 5 new express service buses were delivered and put into service. We intend as a commission to keep the promises we made to the voters when they passed the transportation surtax by increasing mass transit, while at the same time we intend to do what our county can do to reduce our carbon footprint. Broward is a leader when it comes to adopting and finding innovative ways to keep our environment safe and clean. The land we live on, surrounded by water, is a fragile ecosystem, impacted severely by sea level rise and climate change. As chair of the Broward County Water Advisory Board for several years, and as the incoming president of the South Florida Regional Planning Council, I've been shouting about the importance of a new updated Central and South Florida restudy. It's a complicated issue, but basically the canals that drain South Florida only work if the inland water is higher than the ocean water. With sea level rise, that's about to change. I've been working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and we're in serious trouble. If sea level rise projections are accurate, and I believe that they are, then under the best case scenario from the Corps, the county will flood long before the Corps can finish renovations. This must remain a top priority of the county. This past year, we also adopted the 100-year Future Conditions Flood Map, which is a milestone in the county's efforts to further community resilience. The Future Conditions Flood Map accounts for the combined impacts of sea level rise and increased rainfall on predicted flood elevations and provides a new minimum standard for finished floor elevations. By designing to this new standard, we help to protect properties against future flood risk, while also working to help preserve the affordability of flood insurance. County construction continued at a quick pace this year. In addition to the construction of the Lauderhill Transit Center, the top floor of the new Broward County Courthouse, which will be named after Chief Judge Jack Tudor, will be celebrated with a ribbon-cutting ceremony scheduled for this Friday. Construction continues on the newly expanded Convention Center, and it is my hope and belief that we will shortly get underway in the new Convention Center Hotel. Groundbreaking will also get underway as Broward builds a new Nancy J. Cotterman Center to assist victims of sexual assault, child abuse, and human trafficking. When the Champlain Towers collapsed in Surfside, it was the focus of worldwide attention. The thought that the home we live in could quite suddenly, without warning, collapse was frightening. Earlier this year, I assembled the Condominium Structural Issues Committee, which included members of the state legislature, building, construction, and engineering experts, condominium association members, city officials, and others, to discuss what we could do in the future to prevent such a horrible disaster. We learned a lot, and after 27 hours of meetings, we developed a series of recommendations that will be brought forward to the Florida legislature and appropriate state and local agencies. These recommendations cover a wide range of topics, from constructions to inspections to insurance. And my hope is that the processes and procedures will change, and as a result, our buildings will be safe and better secured and looked after. Last week, I spent an hour on a Zoom with the Secretary of the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation and 3 or 4 of her top people discussing the work of this committee. It has been a pleasure to serve as Broward Mayor. I'm proud of the accomplishments that we have made together and look forward to continuing this pattern of success and perseverance in the future under our new mayor. While this is my last meeting as mayor, it is also the last government reorganization for our county administrator, Bertha Henry. Her legacy lies in the nearly 2 decades of leadership that she has provided, day in and day out. Her experience, insight, hard work, energy, and spirit have taken Broward County to great heights. Through her leadership, we have survived a great recession, countless close encounters with horrific storms and flooding, suffered through social unrest, and a pandemic we've never seen the likes of before. The Broward County that we live in today is very much part of her creation. Ms. Henry doesn't shy away from making the hardest of decisions, nor does she seek accolades for a job well done. She is deeply respected by the 6,000 plus county employees and her peers throughout the state and country. As I have stated publicly in the past, I believe she is the best county administrator in the United States. She does have the award to prove that. And Ms. Henry, it is with a heavy heart that we will say goodbye to you when you leave next year. You certainly deserve some quality time to relax and enjoy your friends and family. You have tirelessly served this commission and the public with all your heart and soul. While I thank you for a job well done, this board also looks forward to our future county administrator, Monica Cepero. Is she here? Okay. We are more than confident that she will lead our county fearlessly and with unique competence. We believe in you, Ms. Cepero, and we know that you have been mentored and trained by the very best. Together, I am confident we will take Broward County to new heights with new ideas and innovative ways to lead our county. You are the leader of a great team that we rely upon to keep county government running to serve our residents, who are always our top priority. I know that we are in good hands with you as our next county administrator, and somebody will have to show her this. And to my colleagues, thank you for another year of success as we work closely together as a team. I look forward to continuing this team as we work together with our incoming mayor and vice mayor. I am confident that Michael Udine will do a great job as mayor of Broward County. He's got my vote. We have lived through one of the most memorable and tragic times in history. Nearly 4,900 people have died from the coronavirus in Broward County. I want people to know that you are thought of, and we do realize the extreme pain and suffering that has been befallen us because of COVID. I want to express my condolences to all of you who have suffered and know that our hearts are with you. We must continue to remain safe, to get vaccinated, to protect our own lives and the lives of others. So, while I would describe the state of the county as good and recovering, we are also saddened by the lives that have been lost, and for the many families and people in the county and worldwide affected by this virus. Thank you to the people, businesses, medical institutions, educational facilities, government organizations, and countless nonprofit and religious organizations that came together to get us through this year. And a special thank you to my staff, my former Chief of Staff, David Geller, my current Chief of Staff, Jacqueline Garcia Ortega, my commission aide, Barbara Kopek, and my outreach coordinator, Bina Fink. I would especially like to thank my wife, Laurel, black and white dress, as the time that elected officials spend on public service is a time taken away from our families. And of course, thank you to the people who choose to call Broward County home. Everything we do as elected officials, we do with you in mind. You are the reason that we have chosen this very public profession, and with your help and support, I believe a bright, joyous, and productive future is in store. Thank you.